gentlemen, you have now entered the twilight zone of OBS Studio, where it tunnels into itself forever and ever. Oh wait, never mind, we're at a campsite. This is much better. I like this much better. Okay. Twitter tweet has been posted. And I just realized I need to get chat on my screen. So pardonnez-moi a moment because I need to turn off the display capture. Okay, it's just me now. That's fine. It's just me in the corner. Let's pop out my chat so I can see it. Actually, probably shouldn't do it on here because then it'll be on the screen. Let's do it on my phone. Let's do it on my phone. That seems like a more appropriate place to put it. There. And here. And I'm not live yet. Okay. There, now I'm live. And I have a follower in the activity feed there. Okay, let's see if I can go to Streamlabs and find it. Is it? It's not on there yet. Okay. Well, once it is on there, I will make sure that I show it off. Okay. I can't even see what I'm supposed to be looking at, though. It's unfortunate. But whatever. What are you going to do? Okay, so we will get started in about like 2 minutes, I think. Start in like 2 minutes. Video is muted on your part. Oh, that's okay, MB. I'm glad that it was an easy fix. That's a good thing. And hello, MB. How you doing? And Yugman, how you doing as well? Still trying to figure out the best place to put my chat, because I could put it right here, like right here, but I forget. I can actually use visual examples now because you guys can see me okay on the face cam. Yeah, face cam today, yes. I think I'm going to put it like right here. So if you ever see me like stare this way down, I'm looking at chat. Okay, so we'll just say that that's how that works. Okay, sound good? I hope so. And we will go from there. Still using the same microphone, though. I have yet to build the box for the other one yet. I did receive all of the materials I needed for it, except for the acoustic foam, though. So once I get back from my vacation, we building that shit. It's getting done. So payday in 4 hours, and then this weekend going to buy 14 Complete Edition, going to see Men in Black International, and The Dead Don't Die. Nice. Nice. That's a good use of your money there. It will get you far, I think. You should get enough for your money. I mean, for what it's worth, 14 was worth my money, so I'd say it should be good. Okay, so let's see here. How are we doing on time? We'll wait for it to tick over one more time, and then we'll go going. Thankfully, there was a what's it called? There was a tag that I could use for special events like E3. Otherwise, this one would have been visual or auditory ASMR again. I don't think that would have been very appropriate, but you know. First time in 14, very tempted to buy Bloodstain because it's by Igarashi himself. Not really, already got Bard and Dragoon, now aiming for Glamour. Gotcha, nice. Nice. I think you'll have fun. Now, you got the free trial, MB, is that what you ended up with? So that you can get up to level 35, I think it is, or something like that, before you have to buy, right? If I remember right. I don't need the headphones yet. Media server, gotcha. Where is Media server anyway? Yeah, you got the, okay, gotcha. So you could get up to level 35 before you had to buy. I gotcha. Well, now you'll be able to get up to level 70, so you practically doubled your money, and well, not doubled your money, but you doubled your fun. It's not like doubling your 11, but that's an R&B song, so I don't know if that's thing. You get 2 for the price of 1. That's the point. I keep staring at the microphone because I'm not used to this being right here. I'm going to put these in a sec. All right, let's get going. Is it the same data center? Nice. So MB, you will probably be able to join us at some point when we're doing dungeon runs, as long as you make it up to Stormblood by the time I play. Which, I'm not sure exactly when yet, but it probably will be a little while. You've got months at this point to catch up, so really want to get Bloodstained too. Was there a trailer at E3 for Bloodstained? Because if there is, I guess we could watch it. I have a list. It's in this tab over here. You guys can't see my cursor, but it's up in the top center left-ish there. There's a guide that IGN posted that says, which games were there. So kind of bummed down because you're trying to figure out what's the method for you to pay the sub 14 on PSN. Oh yeah. Unfortunately I couldn't help you with that one, MB, because I play it on PC, so I can't really say one way or the other. Yugman might be able to help because I think he plays on PS4. So if Yugman knows anything about it. Got to pay it on the MOG station. Okay, so do you have to pay it on the PC then in order to play it on the PS4? Is that how that works? Last thing I remember them putting out in the is the art style change trailer. Oh, okay. Very highly praised, but has a really nasty bug that is related to the story items needed. Good thing I'm not playing it then, because I would rather wait for that bug to get patched out, I think. You can access it on the launcher on PS4. Okay, so you could probably use the browser function. I'm pointing to my PS4 in the back there. You could probably use the browser function then on the launcher. Go to the MOG station on the PS4 and then pay it that way. If I had to guess, that would be where I would start. So, okay, we can chat again in a few moments, but let me itch my foot first, and then let's get started. Should I full screen this thing? I think it's fine how it is. Okay. Let's be honest though, is there any need for an introduction here? I could pretty much just start straight away. I mean, I guess if you haven't seen me visually before, this is an introduction for you, in which case... Hello, how you doing? I don't even know if you could hear that because my camera doesn't have microphone. How you doing, everybody? My name is Monochromium, and these will be my E3 2019 impressions of trailers and other assorted things, whatever it is that shows up when I go into YouTube and search for results from these trailers. I have a list that you can see right here. Well, it's not here, but IGN published a list on their wiki for games at E3 2019. Hopefully this has everything. If I miss something, please let me know, but I'm basically just going to scroll through the list in alphabetical order, and we're going to look at the trailer based on that. Like, I think that should work okay. I really not really sure, but that's what my plan is. So we're going to just go like this. And if you buy something through the post, IGN may get a share of the sale. Thankfully, we're not purchasing anything through the post. We're just using it to look at a list of things that they have had at E3. So probably be playing 14 as your gladiator and then level it up. Please do not watch the Bethesda conference moment. It's really bad. I was not planning on watching any Bethesda related footage except for one game. I heard good things about the trailer, so I was planning... There was one game in the Bethesda stuff that I was planning on watching, but I wasn't planning on watching any of their mainline stuff because it really... I think it's basically just Fallout 76 stuff, which I'm not really interested in, and it's fluff probably for the Elder Scrolls 6, which... give me gameplay. I can't do anything with it if you don't give me gameplay, Bethesda. So... All right, let's have a look at this list. If you see something on the list, by the way, that you would like to see, how can you guys see the list okay, by the way? I could always do this to make it a little easier to see. If you see something on the list that you'd like to see me watch, please let me know. Like if I scroll past it, just say, hey, can you go look at this? Sure, whatever, I'll take a look. But I'm basically just going to look at the things that interest me, and we'll go from there. It might not be that long of a stream at the end of the day, but we'll see how it goes. So let's have a look here. What is jumping out at me right now? Not Anthem. Definitely not Anthem. Just please no Anthem. Never, ever going to watch Anthem. Never going to support Anthem. Anthem killed my Mass Effect Andromeda, prevented it from becoming a game that everyone could like, and then they dropped development on its DLC to work on Anthem. And look where it is now. You fucked up, BioWare. You fucked up. Let's see. Astral Chain is the new Platinum thing, and their gameplay is fucking amazing. Okay, we could check that out. Astral Chain on the Switch. Let's take a look. So, we'll go over to YouTube. Don't mind my suggestions. I have no freaking clue. I mean, other than Happy Souls. If you've never seen Happy Souls, you need to watch Happy Souls. It's like one of the best animated videos I've ever seen on YouTube, and it's so good. And it's about Dark Souls 2. So if you've never played Dark Souls 2, you might get slightly spoilers on it, but it's so funny, and it's well done, so go watch it. Anyway, let's see. Astral Chain E3 2019 trailer. Let's see here. That should work, I think. Official trailer. Well, this is from Nintendo, so let's go watch on Nintendo's thing. How's my volume there? Should be good. Let's check this out. This is a good test of the audio levels too, so let me know what you think of the audio levels.
I've been waiting for you. As you know, Earth is currently under extra-dimensional attack. Chimeras.
That's why we need the Earth Defense Force. No, that's
For the first time. At this rate, all of humankind will be pulled into the Chimera's dimension. We're facing down the end of the world. Through blood, sweat, and years of research.
Let me do something real quick, actually, that will assist me. Hopefully they have the subtitles for all of these. I'm going to go back and watch it with the subtitles. It makes it easier for me because I can't turn this up, really, without it affecting you guys' ears and making it so that my volume levels are a little bit different. There's an actual presentation. I'm not honestly that interested in the presentations all that much. I'm more interested in looking at the gameplay personally. That's just me though. It's I'm more interested in the trailers than I am in the people talking about the trailers. You know what I mean? Like the only time where that's a different thing for me is like I don't think we're gonna watch the Cyberpunk 2077 thing, but watching Keanu Reeves get up on the stage after doing whatever he did on the backstage to get himself hyped for it and seeing the reaction, that might be kind of cool to see. But I'm not really as interested in the conference as I am in the trailers. Games are what interests me. That's just a personal feeling, though. Let's see. So let's start with this. And actually, might as well do this too. There we go.
I've been waiting for you. As you know, Earth is currently under extra-dimensional attack. Chimeras, like the ones you've just seen.
Okay. Well, those closed captions are not quite correct, so because that was not Tim Harris, that was Chimeras.
Through blood, sweat, and years of research, we finally made it. The ultimate counter-chimeric weapon. By neurologically syncing captured chimeras with human operators, we established control and made powerful allies. I'm referring
So you have robotic stands.
to the legions.
I'll give you some parting advice. Your power, it's not the blessing you think it is.
When a Legionis and a Legion are perfectly synchronized, it's like they're two parts of one body.
No use. The override release isn't going through.
That's impossible.
And when half of that body is about to die, the Legion's survival instincts kick in to save it.
No way. There's no way. What good could this possibly be?
It's a long shot, but it's the only shot we have. It's all up to you, my friend.
A blessing from the Legion. Or maybe I should say, a curse.
We can't turn back now.
I've gotta know the whole truth. He's still alive out there. I know he is.
They both said he, so I wonder who he is that they're looking for. Well, that was pretty good. I'd probably play it. Showcasing the game with the features and the combat. I don't know. I feel like that's enough right there to give me an impression of the game. Okay, so that's Astral Chain. Yeah, pretty good. I'd probably play it. It looks like it would be an interesting action game, I think, to check out. So that's one down. Let's see here. What else do we have? This one right here, this one messed me up when I first looked at this list, because I thought it was the new Ori game. Now, the new Ori game does have a trailer, but I saw Ari, and I was like, wait a minute, is this like some spoof or something like that? And no, it's I don't even know what this is, but I'm not watching it, because it's not really anything of interest or note to me. Let's see here. Can't say I ever played the original Battletoads, so I don't know that would be all that interesting to me. Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to the Stadia, really. Alright. Whatever you guys say. I'm not convinced on the Stadia, I'll be honest with you. I feel like it's going to be fine, but also it feels like they have catching up to do before they catch up to the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the service that the other consoles and the other services have. I hate to use service that services have. You know, that's kind of a misnomer, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's half-baked a little bit. Like, I don't want to compare it to the Epic Game Store, because the Epic Game Store isn't half-baked, it's raw. But it's like a halfway house, I guess. What else do we have here? Bee Simulator? Are you kidding me? Are we going back to like 2014 or 15 where there was a simulator for everything? There was a simulator for simulators at some point, I think, if I remember right, too. That's something. And it's on every console, too. That's incredible. Yeah, let's see. I don't think we're going to watch Cadence of Hyrule either. I think there's a new Link's Awakening or something that's coming out on the Switch, so I'd be interested in that, because Link's Awakening is one of about 2 Zelda games that I'm actually familiar with. I have never played any Zelda game other than Link's Awakening and A Link to the Past, and my time with Link's Awakening, I got through about the first 2-ish dungeons or something, and then I didn't end up beating it. I always took it with us in the car on car trips, but I didn't end up beating it. And A Link to the Past was one of 2 games that I saw when I was at daycare/camp when I was like 4 or 5. This was before we had video game consoles in my house, and at the daycare/camp, the bigger kids had a Super Nintendo. The first time I ever experienced a console was when they were in the basement of the house playing Super Mario World. They were on the final boss. They were on Bowser. And they let everybody in the room have a try because they grinded like 1-ups or something like that. And I tried. I got like 3 lives, and I was so bad. I had no idea what I was doing. And they kind of just took the controller away. They were like, okay, come on, man. Give it back. So, but that was the one game. That was the game I saw them play, and I got to play. I saw them playing A Link to the Past, but I didn't really get to play it. So if I was ever to play it, it would probably be pretty much a blind playthrough. But it's literally every other Zelda game. I've never seen pretty much anything from them. With the exception of, I think, Twilight Princess, maybe, because a friend of mine played it one time on YouTube, and so I was watching his playthrough, like the first couple of videos. I don't think he ever finished it. I don't think he ever got past the first couple of videos. That's kind of sad, actually. So yeah, I would pretty much be blind for that. Is it surprising, really? Well, I mean, I guess I kind of do. I play a lot of older games, so I guess it could be somewhat surprising. But yeah, Zelda was never really my forte. I never really got into it, honestly. I feel like I could get into Breath of the Wild, but I haven't had any time to play it yet, honestly. So this is confusing as hell. Activision, stop doing this. Like, you're gonna besmirch the good name of Call of Duty 4. You realize the kind of bar you're setting by doing this, right? By naming it after Call of Duty 4. You're setting the bar incredibly high for people who have nostalgic value for that game. And well, I get it. You've made these games in the past, so you're probably competent enough to make it again, but are you sure? Are you sure you want to set the bar that high? Like, come on, guys. I know you're trying to revitalize the series or something like that, but just maybe do it some other way. So. Oh, it has a second delay on your end. Okay, yeah, it might have a little bit of a delay. I've always been dealing with like a little bit of a delay on your end. Is the camera delayed at all? So does it look like I'm chatting like after the fact? Hang on, I can actually check. Let's see. Let me do this. Okay. The frames are it's going at like 20 FPS, my camera. So the frames are a little bit wonky. It's also reversed, but whatever. That's what happens. So okay. Yeah, I've dealt with the delay from the source to the stream itself with Twitch all the time. It could just be because I'm doing this on a wireless connection. I think if you're on a wired connection, it might get there quicker, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So camera looks alright. Okay, good. Yeah, it's just my crappy webcam from my laptop, so I didn't really have anything high tech to use. One of these days, maybe, like if I ever get an actual studio that isn't just the couch in my bedroom, like if I make a little section in an apartment or something when I get one, put a green screen behind it or something, make it so that I can pull myself around, put myself wherever I want on the screen, stick myself in the item box on Dark Souls or something. That sounds like fun. Let's see here. Never played Catherine 1, so I can't watch Catherine full body because I'd be spoiling myself. I'm not really honestly that interested in Catherine. I used the Catherine DLC in Persona 5 because I didn't really have any intention of ever playing Catherine. So, I mean, maybe in the future at some point, but I don't know. It's going to be a while. It's not high on my consideration list anyway. So. This one. Here we go. Chris Tales here. This one, I got an ad for it when I was watching a video on my phone on YouTube. And I obviously turned it off. I thought it was like a mobile game ad or something like that. But it's not. It's an actual full-blown video game, and it looked pretty good from what I saw of it. I saw about 10 seconds of it before I realized, this might be a thing from E3. So let's check and see what it entails. The artwork on it looked really good, so. E3 announcement trailer? Yeah, that sounds about right. Catherine's pretty good. Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty good game. It's like I said, it's not high on my consideration list at this point. I have a lot of games that I want to go through before I'd consider playing Catherine. If someone suggested it, then fine, whatever. But it might take a little while for me to get to it. I have, God, how many? Hundreds, probably. Well, I don't know if it's double digit, like more than 100. It's probably more than 100, but probably less than 200 games that I want to play for the stream, so we will not be short on content anytime soon. Just take my word for it. So, okay, Chris Tales. Why did they make it 2 words, like this is someone's name or excuse me, or something? Huh. Okay, well, anyway, let's check it out.
If you saw what
A
was,
love letter to
what
classic
is,
RPGs, you know I like that.
If you knew how it ends, would you change it? Could you make the hard decisions? And would you be strong enough to fight?
I really dig the artwork in this one. I just hope it runs at 60 FPS all the time, because that would annoy me.
If you learn from the past,
Wouldn't be a love letter to classic RPGs without time travel.
you can rewrite the future.
Specifically, these full motion cutscenes are like... They got me looking like, ooh, so... I have no idea what it would even be about, but I mean, what I saw looks pretty good. So... Might be alright. Let's get out of there. There we go. You have a hard time getting into artsy Western RPGs like this. See, I kind of like that, though, but it's an acquired taste, I think. It's definitely something that it's like, you know, it's better for some people. Like, some people like it better than other people, I think. One particular game that's actually really high on my consideration list, I want to do it this year if possible, is Pyre. It's not an RPG per se, but it was made by the same guys that made Bastion and Transistor. And the art style is one of the catching parts of it that got me looking at it real good. Then I found out what the gameplay was like in it, and it's like literally no game you have ever played. It's like, how could I describe it? It's like an advanced version of Final Fantasy X's Blitzball combined with Darkest Dungeon, except without all the depressing shit. Like, if that's not the weirdest combination of video games you've ever heard in your life, then you've played some games that are pretty out there. So, yeah, it's an oddball for sure. I really thought that I would appreciate it, though. So I tried it myself, and I was like, I gotta play this. I gotta play this for the stream at some point. So we'll have to check that out at some point. So we'll see. Let's see. We might go back and look at stuff for Cyberpunk 2077. Like I said, I'd kind of just be interested in seeing Keanu Reeves ham it up. You know, maybe we'll just watch it now. Let's see what happens. Can I... Cyberpunk 2077 E3 trailer. I don't want anybody's reaction, but I do want to see... Apparently there's a Keanu trailer. So is this the... Keanu Reeves cameo. Is this actually going to show him? Okay, 7:15. This one down here has 7 minutes and 15 seconds. This is 7 minutes and 17 seconds. So I would imagine this one will show Keanu Reeves in it. So, yeah, let's go check it out. I have no experience with the Cyberpunk series, so this is like a first ever for me. No-tell motel, huh? That car's seen some better days, that's for sure. Well, now I'm gonna get a copyright strike. Thanks, Cyberpunk. Didn't know Dave Bautista was in this game, too.
V, my man, you made it. You blowing up all over the news. Are you alone?
I just want the money.
You got the chip? All right, start her up, Bug. Why don't you go to the bathroom, wash up, we gonna be with you in a minute.
Are you sure you want him to put water on that chip?
While hotel security has yet to comment, we do know the suspect seems to have fled the scene.
I forget who that guy looks like. He looks like someone that's like a famous person too, but I can't quite. Not this guy, the dude smoking the cigar back there.
Initiating combat mode. Go! Destination confirmed.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, in and out. We're rich. Oh, we are going to the major leagues, Jackie.
He's gonna die.
Jack?
Okay, he's gonna die. Never mind.
No. Okay, get to a clinic now.
Mr. Wells' condition.
Anterior vena cava, bro!
Medical
It's gonna
help
be
is
okay.
required.
Just hold on. Hey, just think about all the good that we're gonna have, huh?
Why is this bleeped out? Was it like that at the actual trailer? I think you need to watch that a little better, bruh. You're gonna give someone like HIV or something. Somehow I feel like those aren't as practical as like just having them in your wrist, you know, like an Assassin's Creed style.
Chip Dex.
Every corporal cop in this city's gonna be blasting down these doors after what you and your psycho friend did. We didn't need all this tension, damn it.
Might be T-Pain, like just a chubbier version of T-Pain, actually, now that I think about it. Can't remember if it was. Oh, wow. Just like the Cyberpunk stuff, game looks great to you. I mean, it looks visually very impressive, that's for sure. That's some fancy power she got there.
Wake the up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
I imagine the crowd went absolutely nuts at that. We're about to see, actually. Yeah, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I just want to see him, what he has to say. Like, was this expected, though? Did anybody know about this beforehand, or was this just like a complete out of nowhere, like Hideo Kojima talking to Guillermo del Toro about Death Stranding type of a deal?
Yeah. All right. Good to see you. Thank you. All right. All right.
He's one of the only celebrities you're cool with being in the game. Nobody had a clue. I mean, he's already been in The Matrix multiple times, so he's practically been in a video game in his life already.
CD Projekt Red.
Work their workers into the ground. No, that's a rumor. That's a myth.
All right. A while back, the guys from CD Projekt Red approached me and asked me to be a part of their new project, Cyberpunk 2077. They were going on and on about how they'd create this vast open world with a branching storyline, how you'd be able to customize your character through in-game choices. And it's not something I knew before, but I was excited by. And I'm always drawn to fascinating stories.
Well, we know that much, Keanu.
Cyberpunk is set in a metropolis of the future, where body modification has become an obsession. You play as an outlaw, an enhanced mercenary working in the sleazy underbelly of the city.
So Deus Ex.
Okay, but let me tell you, the feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking. All right. So, I gotta finish this. So tell me, do you guys?
I can't get distracted. I know that feeling, Keanu.
When there's the release date? Yeah. All right. Then check this out.
There it is. There's the meme. Like, hours after it happened, somebody posted that with a green screen on the screen there, and the internet blew up. Like, there were millions, thousands, at least thousands of memes fueled by him going, check this out. So... Oh, hey, a week before my birthday next year. Okay. Alright. It's on PC, so, I mean, it's on Xbox, but I don't own an Xbox console, so that's cool. See, I can appreciate that they had him there, though, because it's like, you know, it's Keanu freaking Reeves. Like, it's kind of like Yugman said, he's like, it makes perfect sense to put him in a video game, you know? He's practically already been in one, like I said, so... The Year Breathtaking meme is amazing. Yeah, I know, man. It was great. My one friend, he just got his account back from Twitter because Twitter, like, banned his old account. So he took a break from Twitter for, like, a long time. He just recreated an account, like, 2 weeks ago to come back on, you know, so he can chat with his friends, do whatever. He posted a thing of that meme. Now, again, keep in mind, the account is 2 weeks old. And he got like 10,000 retweets on it. I was like, dude, how do you just come back from a 1 year long break and just get 10,000 retweets out of the blue? Like, that's, if you want to talk about perfect timing, like, holy crap, man. That's just, he has it pinned to his Twitter page and everything. Oh my God. It was great. Like, I couldn't believe it. I saw it when he first posted it, and it, you know, it was pretty much like how my Metal Gear Rising mixes were. They got, like, you know, it got probably a couple of retweets, a few likes, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. And then all of a sudden I looked at it like a day later because it was pinned to his page, and I was like, does that say 10,000? Where did you get those? So Ikumi is precious. Don't know who Ikumi is, but I'll take your word for it. Not going to say anything about how late I'm seeing them. Yeah, I know, Rockin' Fun. You'd think I would have done something like this a week ago. But, no, I wanted to... I felt like doing things the way that I normally do things, which is after all the hype is completely gone, that's when I do it. So, you know. Yeah, it is pretty wild. It was nuts, man. I totally... None of us saw it coming, that's for sure. I don't even think he saw it coming. But, it got him the exposure that he wanted because it was for a show that he likes a lot, that he put in the green screen section, and apparently 10,000 people agree with him, so he's always been harping on people to watch this show. I ended up watching it myself, and I got through about 5 episodes of it, and I don't know, I felt like the plot was going too fast for me, so I just sort of stopped watching it. Sorry, Joe. I told him about, like, my impressions of the show at the time, but it just didn't jive with me, I don't think. Kumi's the creative director on the new game call. Oh yeah, Ghostlight. Yeah, that's the one actually, MB, that I'm going to be watching from the Bethesda conference. Yes. So I'll see if I can get the one with Ikumi in it, because I think the part of the trailer with her in it is actually. I think I made a note for myself at one point and said, make sure you get it with her introduction in there. So we'll check it out. Don't think you ever saw my face before? Well, hello, Rockin' Fun. Yeah. Yeah, I got the webcam on my laptop working for this one, so it's, you know, it's going at about 20 frames per second compared to the 60 that everything else is going at, but it, you know, all works out. I'm a little scruffy underneath, so I apologize for that. I got a haircut recently because I'm going on vacation, but the shave part needs to get done tonight. I didn't want to shave until I was like close to getting ready to go on my flight, because I wanted to make sure that I was clean shaven through the whole vacation. I'm not bringing a razor or anything with me on vacation, so I says, I'll wait till last minute to do it. It's fine. Shinji Mikami is supposed to be her mentor, and now that she gets to make her own game, you're actually excited to see how it turns out. We'll get there. We will definitely get there. It might be one of the next ones we look at, actually, so we'll see. I have no experience with Darksiders Genesis, but that's because, like, Darksiders is a game series that I've been meaning to get into at some point. My brother actually owns Darksiders 2, I think. I think he had, like, we rented Darksiders 1 at some point or something like that. Or maybe we have it on the PSN, I forget. It's been a while since I booted up my PS3. But yeah, eventually I want to cover it at some point. I think there's a War Mastered edition of Darksiders 1 now, so I could check that version out. So, I never played Destroy All Humans, so I can't really look. I mean, I guess we could look at it, but I'm not really keen on it. Honestly, it didn't really. I've seen some stuff from the original game, and it never really tripped my trigger personally. Let's see. I feel like if I watch Doom Eternal, I'm going to spoil the first Doom for myself. Darksiders 2 is so weird. First game is God of War, and the second is a Zelda clone. Yeah, they definitely took their inspiration from some places, that's for sure. I mean, is there really a story to spoil in Doom, though? Like, it's Doom guy kills demons from hell on Mars. Like, is there really... Am I really going to get anything else spoiled for me if I watch a trailer from Doom Eternal? I guess I'll let you guys answer that, and then we'll come back to it. Let's see. Dragon Quest XI is actually another game that I've been meaning to look at some point. I've played... Which Dragon Quest games have I played? I've played Dragon Quest 1 and 3 on the Game Boy. And that's it. So I have barely any experience with the series, but I've heard 11 is really, really, really good. And I mean, the Switch version's coming out, so that might be a thing. So there kind of is. You can think of a story spoiler in the trailer. Okay, well, then we won't watch it. But just know that Doom is another thing that's high on my consideration list for the streams. I will be actually, and the funny thing is that right now, if Cole hadn't switched his suggestion to Yakuza 0, we'd be playing Doom right now, because that was his original suggestion on the stream suggestions list. You can change your suggestion at any time, though, if you decide you want to see something else. So he switched it over to Yakuza 0 just recently, like probably within the last 2 months or something. So yeah, it ended up switching gears. I may end up going to check out the first Doom. Well, not the first Doom, the Doom 2016 at some point in the future. So Dragon Quest is like Final Fantasy. You can jump in at any one, and 11 is 10 out of 10. Everything's just so solid. Yes, yeah. I think that there's some interrelated like piece of the story that you can get out of it if you've played previous ones, because they make like cameo appearances or like references back to the old ones. But yeah, other than that, it's just like Final Fantasy. Everyone's an independent title. So I might get 11 at some point. Might get it for the Switch there, since that's an option. Darksiders had the idea to have one character per game with their own gameplay, so yeah, games are really different from each other. Heard 3 plays more like Dark Souls. I get it, though, because I understand the concept of making each horseman feel like a different person, you know what I mean? Like, since you primarily interact with them through gameplay, they end up feeling like different characters, all driven by different purposes and traits, if they have different gameplay, since that's the way you interact with them. So I get it. And it makes sense to me, so it makes sense to them, and it makes sense to me, and why not, you know? No Elder Scrolls stuff, because nothing they had particularly interests me in that regard. No Fallout 76 stuff, because that's just... This I was surprised that Crystal Chronicles actually got any trailer footage at E3 2019. So I'm going to check it out because Crystal Chronicles is my baby. I gotta check out Crystal Chronicles. It's one of my favorite games from the GameCube era. So let's see what the this looks like. Oh, it's just a minute, but that's okay. Let's check this bad boy out.
From ages long ago,
Now, if you've never played
miasma
Crystal
has
Chronicles,
blanketed the world.
you should.
Crystals keep the deadly miasma in check, but the crystal's power is not eternal. These are the chronicles of brave young adventurers who journey to protect their home. These are the Crystal Chronicles.
If we had no crystals,
Not necessarily
miasma
even
would consume
check
us
out the
all.
whole series. Just check out the first one.
Never did I imagine that it could be so bright.
In online multiplayer mode, caravan with friends
Ah.
wherever they may be.
So they have an online function now. Okay. I was wondering how they were going to do that with the
Adventure
local
close at
co-op.
hand, the journey now unfolds on smartphones. Final Fantasy
Right,
Crystal
okay.
Chronicles Remastered Edition. This
I don't know how they're
going
gonna
to
do that with the
embark on a new
smartphones,
journey
but-
once more.
See, I was wondering how they were going to do the stuff with the multiplayer, because originally on the GameCube it was local co-op only. Obviously, the GameCube didn't have. I don't think it had online functions. If it did, that's news to me. Yeah, so apparently they're going to do it with online multiplayer, which is fine. That should work out pretty nicely. It means that I probably won't be able to play it multiplayer with my brothers like we did for the original playthrough, which, by the way, shameless plug for my own channel. If you've never seen my Crystal Chronicles playthrough, me, Cole, and Steve, my brothers, all played... Hang on. Excuse me. Good Lord. We all played Crystal Chronicles multiplayer about... At this point, it's like 5 years ago or something like that, but we played it. It was like a 40-episode playthrough, about half an hour each episode. And it was a fun time. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun playing that one. It was one of my favorite multiplayer playthroughs that we've done. Could even be my favorite one that we've done. We did a few. We did Champions Return to Arms, which we'll be playing the prequel to in not too long. We did a Pokemon playthrough, and we did the Lost playthrough. So if you've watched my Metal Gear Rising mixes, you know that It Has to Be This Way is called the Lost mix, the one that I have on my channel, because the original one was deleted because it was blocked worldwide. We have a Lost playthrough, quote unquote, of Rayman Legends, our first time through the game. Some of the audio and video in that got corrupted, so I have yet to upload any of it on YouTube, but one of these days we might go watch it, honestly. I might edit the footage through, and then we'll just watch it on stream, and I'll just sit there and listen to myself and my brothers reacting to it. At this point, that playthrough's 2.5 years old or something like that. We played it around Christmas 2016, so... But it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I should probably upload it at some point. So... Let's see. You don't like how they changed the names of the original Horsemen? That's right, they did change them a little bit. They had War, Death, Pestilence, and... Oh, what was the other one? Famine, I think? And they changed it to War, Death, Fury, and something else. Strife, I think? I honestly, I couldn't really tell you. I think I'm correct, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so... An action game with combos, perfect dodges, and stuff with super punishing enemies and really limited healing, bonfire souls, etc. Yeah, Souls game, basically. Yep. I mean, it's not a bad thing. If you're going to take inspiration from something, well, I say that, but there's a lot of games that took inspiration from Dark Souls in the past couple of years, so I don't know if that's the best thing to take inspiration from, because it kind of saturates the market a little bit, but, you know. Bethesda conference was embarrassing. They showed this trailer off, you knew it was in the first second. Love the Crystal Chronicles soundtrack so much. Yeah, I know, man. I looked at the list, I saw Crystal Chronicles, and I says, I am surprised it's there, but we're going to watch it. There's no way I'd get away from this without watching it, so. EA's was slightly worse, and it was the only one you didn't see. Gotcha. Well, we might get an EA game in here somewhere. Did we already see one? I don't think so. But we'll have to see. Rayman Legends is one of your favorite platforms. Be super down to watch that. Yeah, It's really it's in my top favorite games of all time. Honestly, it's in my top X favorite. I don't even know what the list would be. It'd probably be like top 20 or 25, but it's definitely up there. It's a really really good. So here's the thing. If you've come here to see me watch anything for Shadowbringers, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pass on that, because I know for a fact that some of the stuff in the trailers for Shadowbringers will well, I don't know for a fact. I'm like 99.9% sure they will spoil stuff for Stormblood if I watch it. So I will not be watching anything for Shadowbringers here, because I don't want to spoil anything from Stormblood for myself. So I apologize if that's not what you wanted to see. We are going to watch the stuff for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I want to see what they have for Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, because I just recently got it on my PC. So I want to see what it looks like, I guess, and see if it's any different than just the PC version. Because I have it on the PC version with like an HD mod, basically. And, I mean, it looks fine like that, honestly. So, let's check it out. That looks better. That actually does look better than the mod. Okay, then. They smoothed out the pixels. For some of the things, anyway. At least for the characters, they smoothed out the pixels. Yeah, those models are on point, man. Because that looks like Squall from Dissidia, I'll be honest with you. So... I gotta tell you what, though. Nobuo Uematsu's a fucking genius when it comes to music, because every game that he touches, the music is incredible, like memorable forever. And Liberi Fatali is one of those tracks that just, you hear it once, you will never forget it. So, okay. Now that is probably the version of the game we will play when we play Final Fantasy VIII for the stream, honestly, because that's actually impressive. As soon as I saw the models, I was like, okay, you know what? That's it right there. So, Shadowbringers trailer has the worst spoiler you could get shown. Good. That's why we're not watching it. So we will not watch it then. Still need to do the Origins levels and Legends. I forget. I think we did one bonus episode of the Origins level. Or no, we did one bonus episode of the... what was it? I think the Granny's World Tour levels. I don't remember if we did all the Origins levels or not. I think we did a few of them, but I'm not sure if we did all of them. I'd have to go back and look. Like I said, the trailer or the playthrough is like 2.5 years old at this point, so would buy it if it's below 20. Goes on sale. I think it was free MPS Plus at some point too. Yeah, it's definitely worth it there, MB. I definitely get it, especially if you can get a friend to play it with you. Rayman Legends, go for it, because that game is just so much fun, especially with friends. Like, you'll see when I show the playthrough at some point. It's just so much fun. Maybe I'll do like a because I already have a stream montage from when I first played Metal Gear Rising last year, from R-00 that I can post. I'm still on the fence about posting it because I don't know if the editing was good enough to actually warrant me posting it separate. But hey, if I ever start posting like stream highlights and stuff, I might just put Rayman Legends in there for stream. And it'd be like stream highlights, not really, because I didn't actually stream it, but yeah. So at least it would get on YouTube that way, you know. Still think he's a genius for Dancing Mad. He is, man. Dancing Mad's great. One Winged Angel's great. Liberi Fatali's great. The Extreme is great. What else? Most of the tracks from 9 are great. I haven't played 9, so I can't really tell you. Just everything he touches, it turns to gold. I swear to God, the man is a myth. Like, so, say Squall from Dissidia is slightly better, but that's just you. That aside, the character looks pretty smooth that way. See, that's the main thing, I guess. It's true. He probably looks better in Dissidia, but compared to the original, like, that was impressive to me. So, only thing, don't think they changed the background that much in the remaster from what we saw. It's just mostly the characters. Hope it doesn't turn out to be meh. I mean, it looked good from what I saw. You're right, though. It did look like a lot of the other stuff was pretty low polygon. Like, they didn't update it at all. I'll have to, like, look, because I still have Final Fantasy VIII installed on my computer, so I'll have to look and see what it looks like compared to... Like, I'll watch the trailer again on my own time, and I'll look at the game and see what in the game looks like and see what the difference is there, but we'll see. I don't think it'll turn out to be meh, though. Like, I mean, it's going to be Final Fantasy VIII, and I don't know. I have my reservations about some mechanics in Final Fantasy VIII, but I had a good time with it, honestly. Like, I've heard some horror stories from them about Final Fantasy VIII. Like, one of the first videos I ever watched on the internet, period, like on YouTube. Was it on YouTube? I forget. It was either on YouTube or on their website, was when the Spoony one did his review of Final Fantasy VIII. And that put me off to the game for, like, until this year, basically. Like, I was like, you know what? I don't need to look at this. I'll eventually look at it myself, but the mechanics of it sound like crap. And I managed, when I played the game, to play the game without having to spend hours grinding in battles, drawing spells. I played at a relatively low level. I think I beat the game with an average level of 27 or something like that. Like, Squall was a way higher level, but everybody else was lower than that. Yeah, it's a game that you have to play a specific way, but if you play it that specific way, it's very rewarding. And what else? There was something else. I think, you know what else I did on it, was I didn't use a lot of the broken shit. Like, I think eventually I updated my HP to have Full Life be the spell I had junctioned to my HP, but that was about it. Like, other than that, I was using, like, level 2 spells mostly for junctioning, like Water, Bio, Demi. Like, I wasn't junctioning Meltdown to my Vitality to make me completely invincible to physical attacks or anything like that, and I wasn't junctioning, like, crazy stuff to my Spirit. My stats were all around 100 for every one of my characters, like, in the 80s or 90s. Mostly, for their primary attacking stats and for their vitality and spirit and all that stuff. So I really didn't, like, break the game. I found a nice middle ground where actually the final boss didn't die in, like, 3 hits. It took a little bit of doing to actually beat the final boss. Like, she had 160,000 HP or something like that, and it was not easy to get through. It probably took, like, 10 minutes to beat her final form, so it was... I'd like to believe I found a middle ground somehow. With 8 is like 2, I think, in a lot of people's minds, because it's either you break the game in half or you play the game in such a way that it's really, really, really hard. So it's kind of a black sheep in the series, honestly. And yeah, I think a lot of people don't like 8, honestly. It's I think the general consensus on the internet is that people don't like it. I had fun with it, personally, so I mean, it's a Final Fantasy game. I'm going to have fun with it anyway, but, you know. Okay, here we go. Final Fantasy VII Remake. We had to check this one out. Apparently, Tifa got a re-character design or something like that. I don't know, honestly, but I guess we're going to find out right now. Let's check it out. The character models look really good, though. Like, if they keep these character models for the actual game, that would be incredible, but everyone on the internet's been burned about that sort of thing on trailers before, where the trailers look like this, and then the game looks like this stuck through a filter of some kind, like a low-res filter, you know, by comparison to what the trailers look like. So I usually, that's why I don't put a lot of stock in trailers, honestly, because it's like, they can make them look as good as they want, and then make the game look not as good, so.
You can have it for saving.
Well, that wasn't in the original. And I don't know who that was. That wasn't Jessie, was it? I don't think so. No, that's Jessie.
Y'all gotta look at the bigger picture here. Nothing worth fighting for was ever won without sacrifice.
Help me!
That sounds like a white dude trying to sound like a black dude. I don't know who Barrett's voice actor is, but it doesn't sound like an actual African-American gentleman. Like, I hate to be I feel like that's racist, but that always bothers me when they don't hire a voice actor that matches up with the kind of person that they're trying to play, you know?
Have you been a good girl?
Like, it sounds like almost like Steve Blunt trying to be an African-American dude. So...
I know we have to think big if we're going to make a difference. But not like this. I feel trapped.
Well, you are. You're in Midgar. Everyone's trapped in Midgar, Tifa.
My turn.
I am glad though that they let you switch roles in the game so that it's not like I'm glad that they did that in 15 too, where they let you switch to different characters in the party. And I'm glad they're keeping that for this one. I feel like the battle system in this game is going to be very similar to 15. It's going to be like the Pokemon Yellow to where 15 was Pokemon Red and Blue, basically, from my impressions of what I've seen so far. It's going to be like an up-to-date version of the battle system from 15, so I think that'll be pretty good. Just be glad there aren't two of those guys. Well, they made him a little harder than he is in the original.
Cloud, I have a favor to ask of you. Run away.
They changed his voice actor too.
You have to leave. You have to live. You bastard! Yeah! Hold on to that hatred.
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. They're going to split it up from what I understand, though. Isn't it? From what I heard, it's going to be episodic. So that available worldwide in 2020 thing, I don't think that's the whole game. I think that's just the first episode, which will probably cover, if I had to guess, it will probably cover from the beginning of the game until... probably the first Nibelheim vision, if I had to guess. But, I could be wrong. 8 has two main problems, you'd say. The balance between the Laguna parts and the others and most of the side quests. That aside, 8 can be a really cool experience. You know what? That's actually a good point you brought up, because I feel like Laguna could have had his own game, Rockin' Fun. I would play the hell out of that game if it was just his own game, you know what I mean? So... Can't believe the app is playing better than desktop at the moment. What's happening today? I don't know, Todd. It's really weird. Sometimes the app does better than the desktop, and sometimes it's vice versa. It kind of depends. I'm not really sure why, but, you know. Twitch app is 10 seconds ahead of the desktop. What is this? Really? Broken, disconnected. They confirmed that the first part of the remake is just going to be Midgar. Okay. Got it. Got it. So there you go. It's available worldwide, but it's not really. It's episode 1, which is just Midgar. So I won't. Here's my thing about episodic games and stuff like that. I won't play it for the stream until it's full and complete. Like especially 7, where I have memories of it as a kid playing the entire game all the way through. If it's episodic, I will wait till all the episodes are out before I play it. So that's just how that goes. Todd, how you doing? Sorry, forgot to say that stuff. Show off some more. It's what 15 should have been. Yeah, I feel like they're kind of taking the groundwork from 15 with the 7 remake and being like, okay, so let's patch it up, patch up the little holes in it that you've seen from 15, and tweak it so that it works with 7's story and 7's everything. So I mean, it looks pretty good. I'd play it. So. Imagine 2 to 3 years for the next part, or maybe more. Yeah, I know it's going to be a long wait. Honestly, we'll probably play the original 7 for the stream before the remake comes out. Like, fully comes out, that is. So I don't know that I'd be able to wait that long to play 7, because I have, like I said, lots of fond memories of 7 from when I was a kid. But, yeah, it's going to be a long wait. But I'm okay with waiting. That's the thing. I'm really cool with waiting, so... 2 at the very least, you'd bet. Yeah, probably. At the rate they're going, I really don't know, honestly. Yeah, Laguna is way too cool for his own good, Rockin' Fun. Like, I can't... he deserves his own game. That's my main point there. Is he deserves his own game. If you dig up your PS3, you could finish 7. I mean, if you want to, Todd. I think it's available on Steam, but I heard the Steam version is kind of so-so. Like, I heard there was problems with its, like, frames or something, or maybe I think I remember seeing gameplay footage of it, and I think the sound effects are, like, a second off or something for some reason. I don't really know why, but... Okay. Here's another big one. Fire Emblem Three Houses. We're going to watch this one, too. I saw the trailer from last year's E3 for it, I think. If it wasn't E3, it was for like a Nintendo Treehouse that happened like right afterwards. So we're going to watch this one too. I don't know that I'm interested in Fire Emblem Three Houses, honestly. I'm like reserve interested in it. Because Fates was not my favorite. So I'm kind of like easing off on the series a little bit at this point. I'm like, you know what, if I'm going to go play anything, I'm going to go back and play Genealogy and Thracia 776 now that Thracia has a full English patch that isn't garbage. So, yeah, that's my thought process there. Yep, this is it right here. You're at the end of Disc 2, you'd rather finish it on PS3. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I don't want to lose all that progress, so... Alright. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Let's check it out. Hold on. Full screen that shit. There we go. Alright.
Let's all agree.
For clarification, I think they're going to go into it in the trailer, but from last year's E3 trailer, I think her name is Edelgard, something like that. One of the students in Three Houses says something like, promise me we'll see each other again, to the main character who's like her teacher, basically. So that's what that reunion part meant, if anybody's not familiar.
Monastery exactly 5 years
Figure
from
I'd
today.
clarify.
Like a class reunion?
You will come, won't you?
He looks so disinterested in being there.
Fought here as classmates.
As big class reunions go, this one's got to be the worst in history. What should we do, Teach?
Kill every last one of them.
Damn. He had a bad day. A bad 5 years. Okay, but why was that a stock scream?
Still, we have no choice but to eliminate those who cling to unreasonable ideas of justice.
Someone must.
I see they still haven't resolved their frame rate issues. Unless that's just a style choice, in which case I'm not a fan. What the hell is wrong with that dude's eye? Well, I'm glad the Bowman isn't as much of an edgelord as Takumi was. Because holy fuck, Takumi was an edgelord. Oh good, the main character gets a Super Saiyan transformation. That's fantastic.
How lovely it would be for this moment to last forever.
I have a problem with recent Fire Emblem games. The problem that I have with recent Fire Emblem games is they always lock the main character to swords. And that, on principle alone, is enough to make me not want to play the games. Because they did it in Fates, where in Awakening it wasn't so bad because you could second seal into whatever the hell class you wanted and everything was fine because you didn't get a class weapon. In Fates, the sword that you got in the game was always a sword. You could go to other classes, but you'd never be as strong because you didn't have access to the sword. So you pretty much had to play a sword class. And that was terrible! It limited all of the freedom that you felt like you could have from class changing. And it doesn't look like they're fixing it here. So I might ease off of that one, honestly. Doesn't look as interesting. I know it's tradition. I get that, but just use a lance for Christ's sakes. Go back to the way Ephraim did it in Sacred Stones. Come on. Just it is the same for Shadows of Valentia, but the thing about Shadows of Valentia MB is that it's based on an older game, where the main thing there is that it's because it's based on Gaiden, which was the second Fire Emblem game, it's essentially a very high-definition remastering of Gaiden, which was on the original Nintendo. So it feels different in that way, because it's not an avatar character, right? Like, the main characters in Shadows of Valentia are their own characters, and if that was the case, I might be okay with it, but the fact that they're giving you this freedom to create a character, and then saying, you can create a character and do whatever you want, but you're locked to swords if you want to be as strong as you possibly could, just feels limiting. It doesn't feel right with the character system. It feels like a tectonic fault. It feels like they were here with the character creator and here with how they wanted you to do the weapon system. It just doesn't feel right, you know what I mean? At least that's my opinion, though. That's at least my opinion, so. Let's see, what else? In France, for the Steam version, you had the worst translation possible. Oh, really? Rockin' fun. That's not good. That's not good. That would definitely make problems for me, honestly. Leaning towards not caring, Three Houses doesn't look like it's going to be all that inventive. It's going to be fun with the actual mechanics of the game. The relationship turns out to be pretty mediocre. I don't know. It feels like... I think I'm going to give it a pass, honestly. I again, am more excited by the fact that Thracia 776 finally got an English patch that wasn't shit. So, it got like a really professionally done English translation that just came out, like... I feel like just a couple of weeks ago at this point, like before E3, just before E3, I think. So, you dropped your Yato for Magic and didn't look back. Who needs Destiny? You got Magic. That's fair enough, Todd. That is fair enough. I feel like because they keep the Yato a sword, it's like the developers really, really want you to use a sword, but they want you to create a character and do whatever you want with it. Oh, okay, but I need a weapon that's like the Yato for other classes. That's the thing. Hello, Cole.
So how goes it?
It goes. The face cam is on.
Oh shit, people can see me, can't they?
Yeah.
I apologize, I look like garbage.
Social anxiety about to kick in. I don't know if my camera's going to be center now that I moved it anymore, though. I guess I could check. Oh, it's center enough. That's fine.
Oh god, Mobius.
Okay. Cole makes a cameo for our E3 streams.
I heard I was mentioned in the Crystal Chronicles playthrough, and then I just remembered that one freakout I had, and then associated that with the paycheck revelation I had earlier.
Oh my god. Well, Crystal Chronicles will be online multiplayer on the Switch and PS4 pretty soon.
You're right. Did you get to the Pokemon stuff now?
Not yet. We just got done with Fire Emblem Three Houses. We're moving on to not Fortnite.
I'm guessing. Let me take a wild guess about Three Houses. You're not excited for it, and you don't want it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
His E3 stream in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen.
Cole just doesn't like that I don't get hyped about these games.
No. What pisses me off is just the fact that you let one game ruin your hype forever.
He's right. Well, he's right about that. One game did ruin my hype for most video games in the future forever, and that is Dark Souls 2. But that's a story for another time. We'll talk about that when we get to Dark Souls 2. We're not worried about it right now.
If you were such a jaded, bitter asshole, maybe you'd actually be able to have some fun in your life. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going back upstairs. You can continue with the...
Okay, bye, Cole. Here it is, Ghostwire Tokyo. That's the one with Ikumi there. So let's look at that one next. Ghostwire Tokyo. I just got to make sure that it's the one that actually has her... Okay, full reveal. That's what we're looking for, the full reveal. So let's check this out.
Please welcome the founder of Tango Gameworks, Mr. Shinji Mikami.
So this is the guy that inspired her then. Okay.
Hello. I'd like to start by greeting my team in Tokyo. It's Monday morning there, but they are watching. みんなおはようございます。今日真面目にやるよ。
I have to listen more acutely because his accent makes it harder to understand him, so I apologize for this.
Ghostwire Tokyo. It is an action-adventure game in which you will fight paranormal enemy and rid the city of supernatural evil. I think you'll love it. To tell you more about Ghostwire Tokyo, here is creative director at Tango, Ikumi Nakamura.
Wow. Wow, so many people. Wow. Thank you. ありがとうございます。
She looks so nervous.
Makes me nervous. I
Yeah.
do my best to speak in English. We are making a new kind of action adventure game. It's spooky, but not the survival horror game that we are known for. People are vanishing in Tokyo. You must find out why. You will encounter conspiracies and the occult. You have to explore the world, face challenges to uncover the truth and save humanity. In the
So
game,
remember me
you
with
meet spirits, some
religious
dangerous,
cults.
some peaceful. And survivors that each have their own stories. You will need to ask yourself, it is normal or paranormal? I ask myself this question every time I go to the office.
Oh man.
We are very excited.
Oh, that was pretty good. That was good. That was good. I like that. She did a good job. Okay, 10-4. I think that was what that was. That square, the triangle in Japan, I think is called 10-4. If my knowledge of The World Ends With You is any indication. Getting some Yakuza vibes here as well. It's probably just the setting, though, honestly. Whoa. Well, okay, then. I hope they don't end up in, like, a different public place or something. Where'd my clothes go? Why am I naked? Oh, poor dog. Where'd your owner go, buddy? Why is Green Arrow here? That's a cool transition. That was a cool transition too.
Don't fear the unknown. Attack it.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I'd probably play it. I mean, that's just pre-rendered footage, so I don't really have anything to grasp onto in terms of gameplay, so I can't really tell you if I'd play it or not. But it looks interesting. Usually, though, that's the thing about a lot of Bethesda's third-party publishing that they do, is that the stuff that they publish that's from third-party companies is usually pretty good. What's it called? What was the one? Prey. Prey was pretty good. When I played that, so that was my experience with Bethesda's third party pretty much goes as far as Prey and Rage. I didn't play Rage 2 though, so I can't say anything about that. But usually Bethesda's pretty good with their third party stuff, so I think I'd play that, honestly. So Just pretty entertaining. They had so much fun with the transitions for this trailer. Yeah, it is really smooth. It really was. Gonna go rest for the night, so good night and have fun. All right, MB, take it easy. You can check out the rest on the VOD, which will be here on Twitch, and then it'll be on YouTube in a couple of days. So even though I'm on vacation, I'm still gonna export it. So not to worry, I got you covered. Okay, let's see here. What else have we got? I haven't played any of the Grandia games. I've heard good things, but I haven't played any of them, so maybe at some point I might want to look into getting this, but haven't really... Yeah, I don't have any experience with it, so I might... Well, should I look at it then? I don't know. What's in the Grandia HD collection? Is it like the first few games or something? I don't really know. I feel like it'd be like, I don't know, Final Fantasy Origins or something where they include a couple in there. So I'll keep going anyway, and once we see, we can go from there. I wish I was still interested in Harvest Moon. I really honestly do. Like I liked the one for GameCube, but I never got my hands on it, and I never managed to play any of the Harvest Moon games ever since. I've wanted to play it since I saw the one on the GameCube, but I never managed to play it. The only experience I have with the series is Stardew Valley, but that's not actually Harvest Moon. It's pretty close, but it's not actually Harvest Moon. I gotta play a Harvest Moon game one of these days, just for the hell of it. So I am interested in this Hollow Knight Silksong, but here's the problem. I haven't played the original Hollow Knight either, so I'm afraid of spoilers again. So we're gonna not watch that one, but that's another one for consideration. So, oh hey, look, an iOS game featuring Keanu Reeves as John Wick. He just had a ball this year at E3, didn't he? So, oh, that's funny. I do have a bit of neat trivia though for the Just Dance games here. So Just Dance 20. You may notice that it's got a little bit of an outlier on the release consoles there, in that it's coming out for the Wii and not like the Wii U. And that may seem a little weird to you. I can actually tell you why that is, though. So patients that have physical therapy treatments in hospitals, they're always looking for new and creative ways to help them feel like they're not just sitting in a hospital all the time, right? And the company that makes Just Dance noticed that these hospitals have all of these, because they purchased these Nintendo Wiis. I don't know if when they came out or like after the fact for a discount or whatever, but hospitals have these Nintendo Wiis that they use for their physical therapy patients. They have them use the Wii remote and do the exercises in like Wii Fit or anything like that. So that's why these games are released for the Wii, because Just Dance is actually a part of a physical therapy plan for people with injuries. So like if they have a broken bone or a surgery of some kind and they have to reestablish movement in like their arm or their leg or something like that, what have you, they use the Just Dance games as part of their physical therapy. So if you didn't know, the more you know. There you go. So now I CBS, please sponsor me. No, that's never gonna happen. But that's yeah. So there's your neat bit of trivia for the day, in case you weren't aware. So here it is, Link's Awakening remake on the Switch. That I would be interested in. Is this Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga? Is that just the because didn't they release a complete collection of Lego Star Wars on the PS3 or something? Maybe we'll look at that one and check it out and see what it entails. Because I feel like the Skywalker Saga implies that it would be like the first 8 games or 8 episodes worth of stuff. I don't really know. Anyway, let's look at the Link's Awakening trailer, because I feel like that would be a little more I know what to expect with that one, I guess. So where's the Nintendo one? Treehouse Live. Okay, we don't want 31 minutes of Link's Awakening. Sorry, guys. That was 4 months ago. See, I'm not in the loop, obviously, because I didn't even know this was coming out. So I couldn't have told you. All right, let's check. So like Suikoden 3, was it? Or Suikoden 4, where you were... I had the demo of one of the Suikoden games where you were a castaway on a deserted island. I don't think that game was like most Suikoden games, though. Well, he woke up. Does that mean the game's beat now? No, no, not quite. It looks pretty interesting. It looks like it'd be pretty good. It's got that, like, chibi look to it, you know what I mean? Which I don't mind, so... I didn't know you could throw bombs, though. That might be a new thing, like throw them like he did there. I know you can toss them, but it looked like he was, like, throwing it like a professional MLB pitcher, like throwing a baseball. A little bit different. Or maybe that's just the arc of the bomb. I know on the Game Boy it's hard to show an arc on stuff because it's top down, but it looked like he just hucked the thing straight at the guy, you know. Oh, there's a dungeon creator. Okay, nice. That's interesting. Super Zelda Maker? Is that what we've got going here? You probably can share them online. Let's have a look. Let's see if they say, hey, you can share these online. Because it literally would be Super Zelda Maker then. As it is now, it looks a lot like Chalice Dungeons and Bloodborne, except obviously not as gross. So... Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a bird's egg. Okay, well, I mean, you know, looks good. I'd probably play that version over the Game Boy version. The trouble that I have with playing Game Boy games, like older school Game Boy games, is that I don't think, honestly, you were ever meant to have these things in when you're playing Game Boy games with the chip tunes and stuff, because it almost gets droning on my ears personally when I listen to Game Boy music in my ears like this for a long period of time. I have to take them out, honestly, so I don't know. Maybe we'd play that version. I'd have to see. So, be fair, the PS2 also had a crazy long lifespan, was receiving FIFA and PES until some years ago. That is true, Ghost Hand. That's very true. They did release them on older consoles as well. I learned that bit of trivia from somebody who actually works in physical therapy, so that's why I knew about it. I'm passing on the knowledge. So, but you're right. That is true. So, and hello, Ghost Hand. How you doing? It's cool. Yeah, I thought it was a neat little tidbit. So. Okay, Link's Awakening is done. I think we're gonna check this out. I'm curious, honestly, just to see what games are on it. So let's see, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Okay, well, it's like a minute, which is fine. I mean, you know, whatever. Official reveal trailer. Okay, let's watch it from Lego. I like watching it from the actual source. It just seems like it's better to me, honestly. Probably gonna get a copyright strike for this too, because it's literally gonna have the same stuff as Star Wars, you know, music and stuff. Well, Episode 1's in there. Episode 5's in there. So that means the prequels and the sequel. Yeah, if only Darth Vader. Okay, so they'll have at least Episode 7 in there too. That's interesting. How are they going to do this, though, with Episode 9 not out yet? Oh, all 9 films in one game. Okay. So it's going to come out when the films are out. Okay, I see. Well, that means Star Wars Episode 9 will be out by the time that comes out. I have no idea when Star Wars Episode 9 is coming out, I'll be honest with you. I don't keep up with movie stuff very much, so... Doing fine. That's good. That's good. I'm doing pretty good myself, Ghost Hand. Probably including the next one from the New Rise of Skywalker movie. That's yes, as they said there, all 9, so, yep. It's coming out this year in December. Okay, so that'll make sense then. It makes sense that they'd have all 9 films in the single game, so, okay. I could see that. I've always thought about playing the Lego Star Wars games as well for the stream or for my channel. I originally had the thought to play for my channel. It was when I was figuring out which PS2 game I was going to play this is way back, like in 2011 when I was first starting my YouTube channel. One of the games that I had on my consideration list was the Lego Star Wars, which was the first 3 episodes, because I thought that game was pretty good. It was difficult at the time to actually schedule everything with my brothers, though, for co-op multiplayer purposes. So I didn't end up doing it. I ended up just playing solo games. So, but yeah, it looks interesting. Probably use that version if I was to play the games for the stream. Let's see. I gotta be honest with you guys, and I've played Luigi's Mansion. It was okay. I'm not really keen on this, really. I haven't played Dark Moon, so I don't really know anything about it, but I felt like Luigi's Mansion wasn't really a game that needed a sequel, I guess. I mean, I know Luigi doesn't really get his own adventures very often, but Luigi's Mansion felt like its own thing. It didn't feel like something that they could build too much on, from my experience of it, though. Like, I could be totally off base on that, but, you know. I don't know. I'm not keen on it. Let's see what else we got here. Monster Hunter World Iceborne is another one for consideration. I know Alex would be jumping for joy if I watched that one, but it would probably also spoil Monster Hunter World normal for me, like the vanilla version of Monster Hunter World, so I'm not going to watch that one. But just know that eventually we will probably be playing Monster Hunter World for the stream, so it'll eventually we'll be able to play Iceborne and everything else, so that's a thought. I feel like now we kind of got stuck a lot in the Final Fantasy and Fire Emblem area, I think, and now we're kind of skipping down a little bit more, so. Always meant to check out the Oddworld games. I've never actually done so. I think they have like an HD remaster or something like that somewhere. Or maybe that's what this is Oddworld Soulstorm. I'd have to look into it because I've never actually played them, but I've been told that they're very good games and I should probably check them out. So maybe one of these days. Not really keen on No More Heroes. I haven't played any of the originals, so I can't really say anything about No More Heroes 3. I heard Travis Strikes Back was really awful, though, so I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I mean, it was like a transition or something, but, you know. Here's one I'm actually interested in, though. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Let's take a look at that one. I played the original Ori and the Blind Forest, and I was very happy with that one. So let's check. Not And the Blind Forest, and the Will of the Wisps. I'm talking about it, and then I'm typing what I'm talking instead of what I'm actually looking at. So let's see here. They had one at E3 2018. I haven't seen that one, but let's see what this one looks like. All right, Ori, show me what you got again. I was very impressed with the first one, so I feel like this one will be more of the same, which is not a bad thing. Sometimes more of the same is good. The artwork, though, in this game was in the first game was phenomenal. So, and I mean, this looks pretty good so far too. It looks like Ori got a bit of an upgrade of some kind. It looks like he's I don't think he had that kind of shading on his body originally. He looks a little older, too. Or maybe it's just the game. Oh, Ori. At first it was what was it, an owl or something like that in the original game? Now you're getting chased by a giant spider. What is this, Limbo? Oh, he got more arrows. That's nice. I feel like, just based on what I'm seeing, this game's going to be Ori gets chased by Giant Thing, the game. I mean, it's not a bad thing, it's just that wasn't the main point of the first game, you know what I mean? But the one villain in the first game was the big thing, and he chased you in a lot of other cases, but it'll work. Looks phenomenal, though. Like, it looks beautiful. Okay, that looks like the child of the owl character from the first game, actually. I don't remember. I feel like maybe they had that in the ending or something where the owl had children or something like that. I forget, honestly.
Play it with Xbox
Like, they weren't
Game
all
Pass.
bad, basically. So, the owl wasn't all bad. I'd have to go back and play Ori, honestly, before I played Will of the Wisps, but... It's really jank for people who like the meta-narrative that Suda games generally have will adore it. If you're looking for an interesting game from Suda, try Killer 7, Travis Strikes Back. Okay, gotcha. See, I have no experience with Suda games, personally, although I have heard good things about Killer 7 from a friend of mine who played it at one point in their life. He swears by the game. Well, he did when I knew him. I don't really know him that well anymore. We've kind of been apart for a while. But he swore by the game when I knew him, so yeah, I might have to check it out at some point for Killer 7. It might be a good place to start, you know what I mean? Because it's its own thing. It's completely contained in a single story, so... I don't know, I'll have to check it out. We have a splitter, so I can check out GameCube and PS2 games a little more easily with my recording software, so... Oh, is it on PC too? Okay, cool. Then maybe I'll just check it out on PC then. That would make it a little easier. Let's see. Bought Killer 7 a while back after playing a bunch of Suda games. You didn't really like it. Okay. Well, that's fair enough. Like I said, I'm more just interested in the fact that it's its own thing. It's not like No More Heroes where it's like there's multiple games that you can then play afterwards. And I feel like in that case, they almost... A lot of companies, I feel like they sequel bait you with those. You know, they make it so that the end is specifically a cliffhanger, open-ended, or they leave it in such a way that they can create sequels. So... Sometimes I'm less keen on getting into a full series like that, you know what I mean? So, not for everyone. It's a very niche one. But it's okay. I'm okay with the idea of playing niche games. I mean, I was just talking about playing Pyre earlier, and Pyre is a niche game if I've ever played one, so... Oh, boy. Let's see, what else have we got here? Why is Paranoia Happiness is Mandatory on here twice? Huh, that's interesting. I guess we can watch the thing for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So, here's my thing with Pokemon Sword and Shield. I won't be purchasing them, but it's not because of the kinds of reservations that I have for Fire Emblem or anything like that. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm sick of buying a Pokemon game every year. I just... Like, I've been a slave to these Pokemon games for years now. Like, I've been buying them every single year since, like... Gen 1, I think. And I'm just like, there's enough games now in the Pokemon series that I've played personally where if I want to play a Pokemon game, I'll just go back and play one of the old ones, you know what I mean? Like, I'm all for all of the new stuff that they're doing with Pokemon Sword and Shield and everything like that. They should do new stuff with the games. They should make it whatever they feel like is good, and I will be applauding them for it, but I'll be on the sidelines. I'm not going to buy the games because I'm Pokemon'd out, basically. It's difficult because I've played them for so many years that it's just like, okay, there needs to be an end point, and I'm choosing to cut it off right here. Let's Go Pikachu was the newest and latest Pokemon game that I've played, and it will be the last one chronologically that I play. I actually liked Let's Go Pikachu, though. So it's not like the game put me off to the series. I just said, you know what? It's a fitting end. I started it in Kanto. We come full circle. This game is in Kanto. Let's finish it where it started, and that'll be where I call it quits. But we're still going to watch the trailer because, it's probably pretty good. I think Have I watched anything for Sword and Shield before this? I think I watched the Nintendo Direct, if I remember right, for it, so it might be... something. Okay, this is the gameplay. We don't want the gameplay. We want just the trailer, really. I guess the Nintendo Direct trailer would pretty much be their coverage of it. They probably had like a full demo or something. What the hell is that thing? That doesn't look like any Pokemon I've ever seen. And on the left in this video here that's playing. It's probably from the demo. Whatever. Yeah, so there it is. You can see the little watch bar underneath this one, so I have seen the Direct. Let's see, what did I miss in chat? You see why it was so big at the time, I just don't think it aged well. That's fair, it still has a phenomenal aesthetic. The Luchador guy was cool though, don't blame me. The Ultra games felt like an expansion that didn't deserve to be their own release. I have not played Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, so I have no direct frame of reference for them. I've played Sun and Moon, and I wasn't impressed, honestly. So I just kind of, yeah, it wasn't really... That's the thing, though, I think from X and Y, is they haven't really felt that different, you know what I mean, since X and Y. So I'm kind of like, okay, how much are you going to iterate on this? And from the looks of what I saw at the Direct, it doesn't look like they're going to iterate on it all that much. You know, it doesn't look like they're doing as much to change the formula around as they did for, like, the first 5 generations. They obviously changed it a lot in the 6th, but it seems like this is like Generation 6 was X and Y. Generation 6.1 was Sun and Moon. Generation 6.2 is Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Generation 6.3 is Sword and Shield. That's what it seems like to me, anyway. I could be totally off base with that, but that's what my mind pictures when I think of the games post X and Y. Is it feels more like an expansion or a patch than a full game. So, I don't know. Suda's obsessed with wrestling. A lot of the aesthetic of his games are heavily inspired by Mexican culture, especially the whole death worshipping thing. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind going in then, because that's definitely its own specific aesthetic that I don't feel like I'd understand the references to if I didn't, you know. So, Sword and Shield looks like a very, very polished 3DS game. Yeah, that's the impression I got. Let's have a look at just... this is going to be the Nintendo Direct trailer, I think, but it gives you the same idea, basically. I don't want to watch the demo footage, honestly, because I'm only really interested in seeing what the trailers look like. I don't want to watch 21 minutes of Pokemon Sword and Shield. So let's just check this one out. So I know this isn't E3, but it's okay. I will say this, though, if I was to get the game, I'm totally a fan of Scorbunny. Like, that guy right there, Little Roger Rabbit guy, is the starter I would get. I'm okay with the other two, but Scorbunny just blows it out of the water for me in terms of starter design for the first stages. So... I like how Brave Bird is just a nuclear explosion now. It's like they're getting more and more, like, they're doubling down more and more on the kamikaze effect of it in every single game. It's ridiculous. So... I do, however, I like the idea of having a bike that you can, you know, pedal on water there. That's an interesting little thing. I'm not sold on this whole raid thing, though, that they've got going, where 4 players fight against this thing and then only one of them gets to catch it. I'm not sold on this because I feel like it's abusable. I don't know anything about the system yet, so I can't really say so. But I feel like you could just, like, you know, get to the point where you catch the Pokemon, you Dynamax your Pokemon just like this, and you turn it into frickin' Godzilla or whatever. And so you do the big attack to make it so that you can catch the thing, and then you can just select, it'll be like, do you want to catch this Pokemon? And you can just select no, and then you and 3 other players just spend 10 minutes fighting this thing for nothing. And I feel like if it's online multiplayer, that will be the norm. Like, people will go into these raids and just be like, no, I don't really even want this Pokemon. And I feel like that can be abused, and I'm like, They're going to really have to watch themselves with the online stuff with that, because I feel like it'd be easy for someone to abuse the shit out of the system. That's the reservation I have for it anyway. As far as Dynamaxing goes, I'm not honestly... It just... I don't know. I was never really sold on Mega Evolutions. I was never really sold on Z moves, and this isn't selling me either. It just... Whatever. This isn't Digimon, though, so it's like, you know. But hey, at the very least, Sif gets his own video game now. That's pretty nice. It's about time he got his own game. And before you say, oh, that's only Pokemon Sword, not true. If you remember the Artorias of the Abyss DLC, Sif was equipped with Artorias' Great Shield. So Sif is the main mascot legendary for both Sword and Shield. It's just Sif from the present and Sif from the past. So it's basically Pokemon Sif version. It doesn't matter which one you get, you're getting Sif. So, and if you don't know who Sif is, shame on you for not playing Dark Souls. So, but yeah. Yeah, Knife Wolf, yeah. It's not quite Blade Wolf. It's slightly different Blade Wolf, yeah. Just realized the Tyranitar was tiny. Yeah, that was always something that I never quite understood either about the games from X and Y onward. Why are the Pokemon dimensions so off? Like, Colosseum and XD got it right. When I throw a Wailord out onto the field, I expect it to literally eclipse everything else on the screen. Like, the trainer's like this tiny, and the Wailord's like this on the screen in Colosseum and XD. In X and Y and onward, the Wailord's like as big as the trainer. And I'm like, it's 47 feet long. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just, come on. Like, it's meant to be this giant blimp of a Pokemon. And same thing for, like, Gyarados. It's 21 feet long. It's a giant death snake. Like, it's supposed to be a dragon snake thing. It's just... And it's tiny. And the worst part about it, like, it didn't bother me as much in X and Y, because it was like, okay, you know, whatever, the technology's not there. It bothers me the most in Sun and Moon, because the trainers are on screen with these Pokemon that are supposed to be tens of feet longer or taller than them. And the Pokemon's as big as the trainer. Like, it's just... Hello? Come on, man. Like, just proportionate sizes. I'm kind of... The thing about the Pokemon games that's kind of funny for the newer ones is that the same reason why I won't buy a Fire Emblem game anymore, because the main character is locked to a sword, is kind of a similar thing with me in Pokemon. I get these little tiny hang-ups that make it so that I'm not keen on the game anymore. In Fire Emblem, it's the sword locking, and in Pokemon, it's the proportions. Now, that's not the only reason, obviously. There's other reasons why I'm kind of reserved from getting them, but that particular pet peeve for me is like, okay, this needs to be fixed. When you fix it, I will reconsider purchasing your Pokemon games. Until then, don't even look at me. I don't want anything to do with it. So, excuse me. Game Freak grew used to doing minimal effort and still making a huge profit. Yeah, and that's sad, really, Ghost Hand. It really is. I think that's why I want to go back to the old Pokemon games instead of playing the new ones, is because it's like, remember the times when they did so much with these new generations that they made them so different from the older ones? Like, you remember the jump from Gen 4 to 5, where Gen 4 was like this slower game? It was still, you know, the graphics were still really polished and it was really good and everything, but it just felt like slow and not alive. And then you get to Gen 5 and all the sprites move and that everything feels a lot faster paced, and it's like, whoa. You don't see that anymore. And that's sad. So, remember when they did cool stuff like Drill Dozer? I don't know that I was even around for Drill Dozer, Yugman. Like, I don't know Game Freak outside of the Pokemon games, I'll be honest with you. I should probably go back and play some of their older games, because I'd probably enjoy them. Yeah, I know, the feels. It's something. I don't know, man. I'm just sad, because I remember the way that every new Pokemon generation used to be, and it used to get me so hyped, man. But ever since X and Y, I've been like, not really keen on them, and I think that's what it is that I've kind of the hype has fallen off. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of like, okay, it's a new Pokemon game. I'm glad people will enjoy it. I know a lot of people that are friends of mine that will play it and probably play Pokemon Showdown and, you know, do all that stuff with the game when it comes out because they like the games. Hard pass from me. I'm sorry, but hard pass from me. It's just, I'm not keen on it. Drill Dozer would be the perfect one to check out. Okay, I will definitely check it out then, Yugman. I'll look at some. Maybe I'll look at some footage or something after this of it, and or maybe I'll just look at what system it's on and see where I can go from there. I want to highlight Psychonauts 2 because Cheese Ups will hate me for this one. I'm not keen on the idea of watching anything from Psychonauts 2. I'm not opposed to the idea of playing the game. I wasn't, when we played Psychonauts for the stream because Cheese Ups suggested it, I wasn't really sold on it because it felt like a worse version of several different kinds of games at once for me, and I think that's because I didn't play Psychonauts growing up. I wasn't really keen on it. I was a fan of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy when I was a kid, and I think that's where the game kind of took some inspiration from some of its humor, or maybe it was just, you know, the guy Tim Schafer that made it. He's got that sort of sense of humor that show had, and it could just be because Raz's voice actor was the guy from Billy and Mandy. It was Billy's voice actor that I got that impression from, but I don't know. I'd be okay with playing Psychonauts 2 if someone suggested it. I don't think I'd play it on my own. But I also went into Psychonauts 1 knowing literally nothing about the game. I had never seen footage of it, nothing. So if I watch anything from Psychonauts 2, I feel like I won't have the same experience with it as I had with Psychonauts 1. So I'm kind of like, it's another one for consideration, so. Wish Camelot made something that went with like a Mario sports game, Golden Sun 4. Oh, that wasn't a Mario sports game. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Golden Sun is on our suggestions list there, Todd. Frank suggested it to me, actually, at one point. But you're right, though. It's been a while since Camelot's made anything outside of a Mario sports game. They should probably go back to trying to do other stuff, too. But, it just depends on if their creative efforts... if their creative feelings trump the amount of money that they're getting from the Mario sports games, which that's going to be hard to top, I'll be honest. Got that feeling too with the humor? Yeah, I figured it's pretty similar, I think. So, like I said, Rage 2, I don't think we're going to look at that one. I played Rage 1. I actually liked Rage 1. I felt like after the intro cutscene, it wasn't like... The intro cutscene was top notch, 10 out of 10. One of the best things I've ever seen in a video game. Like, holy shit at the time. And then after that, the gameplay just sort of dropped off a cliff and then stayed the same for the rest of the game. It wasn't bad. I liked the gunplay, but it couldn't compare to the intro cutscene, man. But I liked Rage. I looked at what they were doing with Rage 2, and it looked like they were trying to mix Mad Max with Saints Row. And I was like, this is another tectonic fault. Like, this doesn't work. What are you doing? Why are you trying to be Saints Row? So I'm not sold on Rage 2. And I heard some bad things about Rage 2, personally. I heard that the gameplay is kind of just this loop of, like, collecting stuff, I guess. Which is why, by the way, if we go back up, which is one of the reasons why I wasn't really looking at anything to do with Borderlands 3. Not just because I haven't played Borderlands 1 and 2, but also because I'm not sold on the gameplay loop of Borderlands as a series. I don't like the idea of shooting things to loot things that let me shoot things more. There has to be more to it than just that for me to really get interested in it. And I don't know. I'm not really sold on it. So I apologize if anyone is really a big fan of the Borderlands game. I'm sure that me saying that is kind of like blasphemy, but that's just my feeling. I would still play the Borderlands game if someone suggested them to me again, but just I can't say I'd want to pick them up myself. I've seen some gameplay because one of my friends plays it for the streams occasionally when he streams, and I'm not sold. Let's see, what else we got here? Is Phoenix Wright getting his own RPG? That's almost like that time he crossed over with Professor Layton. Like, I never would have expected that. Rage 2 has a great shotgun, and that's about it. Well, we can get a great shotgun from Doom, so I think that's a good indication that I can pass on Rage 2. Your cousin got it and didn't really like it. The loot system eventually gets old and feels like a chore. Played over 200 hours of Destiny 1 and 2. Ah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm not sold on a loot system. You know what I mean? There has to be more to it. There has to be story to it. There has to be good character development. There has to be good music, that sort of stuff. It all has to kind of blend together. You know what I mean? In order to make it a full package to where I'd be interested. Just loot doesn't really sell me. Let's see here. Why are they selling softcore porn for the Nintendo Switch? Like, this is just Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, except with Senran Kagura characters, isn't it? Why do I even know what Senran Kagura is? I don't watch anime. Like, how do I... Todd, I'm going to blame you for this one. I'm sorry, buddy, but I'm going to blame you. I feel like I know about Senran Kagura because you told me something about it. So I'm gonna extend the blame to you. I apologize if it's unfounded. I don't... no, actually, it is unfounded. I'm sorry, Todd. I will take that back because I think it might be from something Cole told me, actually. I feel like he might have told me what Senran Kagura is. So, yeah. Yeah, the Switch is... honestly, I really like the Switch as a console. I wasn't really sold on it at first, and you could... like, if you go back and watch my most recent update video from it, which was like 8 months ago at this point, I was like, I don't know, I feel like the console's really good, but there's some certain things I'm hung up on about it. I feel like I've changed my mind. I think I like the Switch more than I like the PS4, honestly. So... you were going to take that bullet? Well, thanks for being a team player, Todd. But yeah, like I said, I apologize. I'll take it back. Because I feel like I don't think that it was you that told me about it. So each their own. Nintendo's actually being more lax on it than Sony. Are they really? Huh. See, I don't expect that from Nintendo. But I think that's because of my history with them. Because I grew up with Nintendo systems. So it's like I'm not used to seeing that sort of stuff from them. So seeing this, it's just like... what the fuck? So, Senran Estival Versus is legit a good game, but it's impossible to recommend those games. I feel like they have such a stigma on them, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't think I could ever get over that stigma, personally. It would be really hard for me to get over a stigma like that. Sony's being cancer with censorship. Oh, yeah, I've heard about some of their censorship policies lately. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good look for Sony. It is pretty huge in Japan. I mean, that's fair enough, It's probably a cultural thing. Maybe that's what it is for me. Maybe I'm not a part of the culture from Japan, so I don't really like it as much. I don't know. Shenmue 3, oh dear God, why are you on the Epic Games Store? I have not played Shenmue 1 and 2, though, so I can't really say that I'm excited for it, but when I saw that it was on the Epic Games Store for an exclusivity for a little while, I was like, oh my God. They got this game funded through Kickstarter. People are going to be pissed. Why would you do that? It's like Metro Exodus all over again. Pull the rug out from under people. Not cool, man. Let's see. Anything else in here that I'd be interested in? Not keen on Splatoon 2. I never played Splatoon 1. I don't feel like that matters, though. I feel like Splatoon is the kind of game that doesn't really have much of a story. But, yeah, I've never played the Splatoon games, and I'm not really... I get enough of my money's worth for Inklings just out of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, honestly, so... I still haven't figured out how to play Inkling in Smash Ultimate, though. But that's because I haven't played Smash Ultimate in, like, 4 months, so I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. The first time I went through this list, I thought this said Supermarket Shrek, and I was going to be like, huh? Excuse me? What and why? Why is Shrek going to a supermarket? Why is that the premise of a game? But then I did a double take, reread it in Supermarket Shriek. Didn't see the eye there at first. My eyes are probably going bad. I probably need reading glasses. Let's move on. I know Dream is going to be really excited for this one, though, because Dream's really a fan of the Stranger Things series. I've never gotten into it myself, but apparently there's a third one coming out. That's interesting. It looks like a 10-year-old game in terms of mechanics, exactly like 1 and 2, for better or worse. People are greedy and Epic is blind to their own madness. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the way Epic's doing their business. I feel like they're just pulling everything in an effort to exhaust the market of anything else. And that's not going to get me to download their client and purchase games on it, especially since their client, like I said previously, the Epic Game Store is not half-baked. It's raw. There's no functionality to it whatsoever. When you, as a company, can allow me as a customer to feel like I'm getting some form of convenience out of your store to the point where it is in competition with other stores like it on the same console on my computer, for lack of a better term, console, then I will consider downloading your client. Until that point, whatever games come out on your system, on your store, I keep saying system because I'm used to consoles. Whatever games come out on your store, I'm just going to pass. Like, I get it. I should support the developers, but I'm not trying to support Epic if they're not going to support me in the process, you know? That's just me, though. I don't know. At least they give 2 free games every month. I'm still not sold on that idea either. I barely use the PlayStation Plus for their free games, so I'm not really sold on the 2 free games thing. Like, their store doesn't have a shopping cart, man. How do you not have a shopping cart? And that was like, I heard about the thing that happened where people's accounts were getting banned when they were buying multiple games when they had the sale. So their accounts were getting banned from the Epic Games Store because they were buying so many games. And well, they weren't getting banned. I think they were getting temporarily banned or something like that. And I was just like, okay, but why don't you just have a shopping cart? What online store in 2019 doesn't have a shopping cart? Apparently the Epic Games Store doesn't. And it's like, where did you get the software for this? Like, where did you... Did you rent it from, like, some crappy, like, third party, like those companies that make those really crappy plastic toy things in China? Like, did you rent the software from them? Like the ones that make those little toys things that they last like 3 seconds and they break when you pull them out of the box. Is that where you got the really cheap knockoff toys? Is that where you got your software from? Because that's what it feels like when I see crap like that. Ugh, I could go on and on, man, about Epic. I'm just know that I'm not a fan of them right now. My opinion may change in the future, but I just they don't really. They do not have my dollar yet. So, one of the other streamers you watch had that ban thing happen to them. Oh my god. I can't. Okay, is this a new Tales game? Tales of Arise? It's not on iOS, so at least there's that. I'm gonna check it out and see if it is a new Tales game. Let's see. Tales of Arise. I haven't been sold on any Tales games since Xillia 2, though, so I'm gonna go into this with reserved. Why is Ludger in the game? That's literally Ludger with an eye patch. Or Thancred. It could just be Thancred from 14. But, okay. Anyway. Yeah, I wasn't sold on Zestiria, I wasn't sold on Berseria, and I wasn't sold on Tales of the Rays, is Tales of the Rays the one that's on phones? I forget. I wasn't sold on anything since Xillia 2, though, so this might be... Let's see if this turns it around any.
A tale can be woven from either fact or fiction.
Well, the music will be good. At least there's that. The music's always good in these games, though, really.
It has been handed down that Rena, the planet in the sky, is where the dead and the divine reside. Rena unleashed disaster upon our planet Dana, robbing us of our history and freedom. A destined encounter of 2 people born of different worlds. Can they deny their fate and forge a new path?
Okay, I wasn't sold when Gaius pulled the sword out of Muse's boobs, and I'm not sold on him pulling the sword out of her boobs. Like, okay, guys, I get it, fan service, whatever. But it looks like they're doubling down on character models, too, because that's Ludger, basically. And then the other one is that fire chick from Tales of Zestiria, her. She looks almost exactly like her, down to the clothes and everything.
Now is the time for change.
Is it weird that it kind of reminded me of Code Vein, actually? Like, is that straight? I know Code Vein is more like a Souls game, but that actually kind of reminded me of Code Vein a little bit. I haven't played Code Vein. though, so I can't really say one way or the other, you know, what I feel about that game. But the footage that I've seen of Code Vein, that's what that reminded me of. So yes, Layla. Yes, that's who it is. So, and Raze is the gacha game. Okay, gotcha. It isn't, if you remember correctly. The new Tales game is pretty different than the others. Looks really good, in your opinion. See, I don't know. I like I said, ever since Xillia 2, I haven't been sold on the Tales games that well. I usually go into them with reserved suspicion if I look at any gameplay footage on them. So it's not weird that it reminds me of Code Vein. Okay. Yeah, just don't go filming inside a bath. Oh, don't worry. That's not happening. That won't happen. I did film inside of my kitchen for April Fool's. I filmed the kitchen sink for April Fool's, but that's about as close as we're going to get to a bathroom. So, you know. Why the fuck is Too Many Cooks on there? I don't know. Is Too Many Cooks an older game too? It's on iOS and Android now, so I'm not sure why it's on there. I was kind of confused because Super Lucky's Tale is on there too, and I thought that came out on the Xbox like a year or two ago. So, I'm confused. I'm just as confused as you are. So, Terrarium. Not sold on that name. No, thank you. I think we're getting down towards the end here, actually, though. Honestly, that might be one of the last ones we watch. So, Untitled Goose Game? Okay, what and why again? I just Why is The Witcher 3 on here? Did The Witcher 3 get like a remastered edition or something? Like a If it got a complete edition, I might be interested because I'm not sure if The Witcher had that before. I guess worst comes to worst, we could watch the new Wolfenstein trailer for our last one. Yokai Kitchen. Oh, man. Yeah, and Yooka-Laylee, I'm kind of like, honestly. I didn't grow up with Banjo-Kazooie, and I feel like if I was going to play a Banjo game, I'd want to play Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie first, so we'll wait on Yooka-Laylee, I think. Okay, well, let's take a look. It's an Adult Swim short? Really? So they're making a game for an Adult Swim short? That's strange. Oh, it's on the Switch. Okay, I see. See, I didn't know it wasn't on the Switch. Okay. That makes sense. Alright, well, with that being said, then, let's finish this whole thing off, because these are rumored ones that weren't actually there. I don't know what those are all about. But yeah, we'll finish this one off by watching the new Wolfenstein trailer. I haven't played any of the new Wolfenstein games, though, so I don't know if this will be a spoiler, but here's the thing. Having never played any of the newer Wolfenstein games, if it was a spoiler, I don't think I'd recognize it, because I honestly have no clue what to even expect. So, excuse me. Whole game and DLCs in a single cartridge. Other companies have literally no excuse to not compress their games properly. I know, man. It's on a single little teeny tiny cartridge like this too, so it's ridiculous. So, New Order and Old Blood are great. New Colossus is fine. I've heard good things about all the newer Wolfenstein games. Honestly, I haven't had a chance to pick them up yet. So we'll watch Young Blood. That'll be the last one that we watch. Why is there a Fat Gotenks video in my recommended videos for this? Like, what the hell? Wolfenstein Young Blood. Let's check it out. Oh, it's another Bethesda one. Okay. It goes to show how much I know about the new Wolfenstein games. I had no idea Bethesda was even the publisher. So, hell if I know. Alright, let's check this out.
Paris. Nazi country. That's where Papa is, so that's where we're going. We can find him. Together.
I may have an assignment suitable for two Nazi killers such as yourselves.
Well, no big shock. It looks a lot like Doom, except with Nazis, so...
Let's do or die, sis.
Co-op, okay. I would think, anyway. Based on the idea that they're having this whole together thing. It's probably online multiplayer only, though. It's sad, you don't get to couch co-op anymore in a lot of games, and that just... I don't like that. I know why they do it, but I can't say I'm a fan. As someone who's done music mixes before, I can really appreciate them syncing up the beats there to the bullets. That's a nice touch.
For a second, Jess.
Well, I hope that they, since they're sisters, these two characters in there, I hope that they feel like siblings when they have interactions in the game. Again, I don't really know much about Wolfenstein, but I feel like if they're sisters in the game, there's a certain way that you kind of have to have them interact for them to feel like siblings. So I hope that they actually do accomplish that with it. So, you know, hopefully it all goes well for them when they do that. Let's see here. Remember Doom 2016 being like 80 gigs? That made you so... I don't know. I've heard only good things about Doom 2016, so we'll have to see. But yeah, I guess the space would be a big problem considering. But I mean, if it means that the game has high fidelity, it's like, well, you know. But I can definitely see how it could be, you know, troublesome. It's like, oh well, you know, that's a lot of space that'd be taken up on your system. So, Gotink's video keeps popping up for you too, really, huh? Well, I mean, we watched pretty similar videos, I think, Todd. So I feel like we might have similar taste. Every language uncompressed for that one. Thanks, Sid. Runs like a dream, though. Oh, is that why it's 80 gigs? Okay, that would make sense then. Is it couch co-op? Okay, well then that's pretty cool then. You don't usually see that in a lot of games anymore where you can do like local multiplayer. So, because I feel like they did that a lot so that the whole split screen thing didn't have to happen, so they wouldn't have to reduce the fidelity of the game in order to split the screen so multiple people can play in the same room. But you know, remember you could split screen online with Modern Warfare 2? Also remember the 80s? Yeah, I know, it's like... Oh, man. It's been a long time since that sort of stuff has happened, but, you know. It is... God, see, my thing is I played Call of Duty 4. I didn't play Modern Warfare 2. I played Call of Duty 4 a little bit after I played Black Ops at a friend's house. So my experience with Call of Duty pretty much was just Black Ops, and that was it. And that wasn't really a good introduction to the series. I feel like that's where a decent chunk of people got into it, because that was, you know, like, it was where at least I felt like it started getting popular online on YouTube. It was with Modern Warfare 2 and then with Black Ops. But I don't know. Didn't realize you sold the gotchas and Yu-Gi-Oh! GX clips. That's about all you watch anymore. I mean, Cole sends me Yu-Gi-Oh! GX clips sometimes, so that might be that might be in my history there as well. Also, like, I just gotta ask this, because I'm seeing this in the recommendations there, and I hate to be the guy that points this stuff out. How horny are the people that make Fire Emblem Heroes? 'Cause, like, how is that dress even being held on her body? Like, her proportions make it so that there's no way that would... It's like a flap of cloth. Like, what... I feel like if I start asking about this stuff, we're going to be here all day, so maybe this is a good time to call it a day. But, you know. Black Ops 1 was pretty good. Zombies was god. Yeah, I really liked Black Ops 1 when I played it, but I also hated it because of the online community that surrounded it. It was the most toxic thing I had ever seen in a video game to date. And at one point, I got so fed up with the people online, I literally took the disc in my bathroom and broke it in half. I said, fuck it, I don't want this in my life anymore. Zombies can be great and everything like that, but if it means I have to interact with these cesspool degenerate people online, I'm getting rid of this thing any way I can. And the only way I knew to get rid of it where I would never play it again was to snap the disc in half. So that's exactly what I did. It was literally the I'm sick of your shit reaction. And it was an escalation because I was like, oh, I'm just, playing. Have to listen to these people talking. Nope, done. Can't do it anymore. So, She's a new summer unit. We'll leave it at that. Okay, gotchas need bait to make money. Probably why I'm not a fan. As I don't like bait. Save for summer friend. Let's see what else I miss. Nothing else. Okay. So yeah, that was my E3 2019 impressions. 1 week late. I hope you guys enjoyed. I've never done anything like this before, so it was kind of a new experience for me, but I felt like, you know what, I said I'll try anything once. It's a good way to test out and see if my face cam actually works on my computer, so maybe at some point I can use it for something if I feel like it would be appropriate for a project. And, I think it worked out okay. I feel like my reactions weren't as crazy as some people's when they were watching stuff. Like, there's no way I'd get that amped up about stuff, but you guys know me. I don't really get that amped up about a lot of things, especially for trailers, because it's like, for me to get hyped about a trailer or something like that, they got to give me something. They got to put it in my hands and let me play it. So maybe I need to actually go to E3 one of these years and look at the stuff that they actually have for demos, and maybe then I'd be more impressed. But as it is right now, I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like I can get as hyped about these things. Maybe it's because I'm a bitter old man. I don't know. But yeah, and the other thing about going to E3, I would never go as like a guest until they pay me to go to E3. Like, I don't know who they is, but until someone pays me to go to E3, I don't see myself ever going. Not a big fan of conventions, honestly. So if we ever get to the point where I am popular enough to have the capacity to go to conventions and be recognized, which I doubt we'll ever get there, but hey, you never know, right? I don't think I'd be going to very many conventions. But I don't know. I feel like it's at a certain point in the video with this video, I feel like at a certain point I just get to the point where I'm being a stick in the mud. So that's what we're going to call it. So thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. And I will see all of you on the next one, which is going to happen after my vacation. I will be gone from June 21st until June 26th. So the rest of this week, beginning of next week, will have no streams in it. But I will update the schedule for next week, because we will be streaming as soon as I get back on June 27th, which is next Thursday. Right? Yes. Yeah, it should be next Thursday, because it is... Yeah, it's the 20th. So June 27th will be the next stream. We'll be going back to Yakuza 0, and we'll be continuing after that cliffhanger that we left off on Monday. So that's where we're going to leave it for today. Until next time, everybody, I hope you'll take care and have a good night. And I have a face cam now, so I could do my usual thing. I half did it just there when I tapped my head there, but usually when I say take care and have a good night, I go take care and have a good night. So there's your little sign off. You can get this little thing in your head every time you hear me say that now. You can visualize and picture that I'm doing that, because I do it almost every time. So there you go. Take it easy, everybody.